Has someone close to you ever told you a secret? A secret that you never thought could be true? My name is Chaley Drew, and what I'm about to share with you is the secret that I promised to keep. I began this documentary to understand what goes on in the secret life. I've known Victoria for a while now, yet anytime we talk, it feels like a part of her is missing. Yes, that's me with Victoria. She's here, but it's like she's distracted. She's been sucked into the risky world of escorting, drugs, partying, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. It's her choice. I just never realized how common this lifestyle is. I had to know more, so I arranged to meet with two well-respected experts. They candidly offered some honest answers to my questions.
A person might get drawn into the sex trade industry by a pimp or a controller who would sell them the dream. That's what we call it, selling somebody the dream. And that person who's looking to exploit somebody, the first sign that they will look for with somebody is that they're vulnerable.
My experience in working with sex trade workers is the reasons they get into it are generally one of three reasons. They either need the money and think it'll be a short-term fix, I can just get in, get out, and then life will be good, or they're addicted to drugs and they need the money for drugs, or it's a learned behavior.
So how did Victoria end up here? She was a very different person growing up. She played sports and surrounded herself with people that cared for her. She's become someone else. How could this happen?
My brother's friend, he used to live around the corner from us. I was just talking to him randomly one day. I asked him what he was doing right now, and he told me he drives for pimps. He told me about all the money, and he showed me pictures of these girls and what they can have, how glamorous it could be. He put the thought into my mind that I wouldn't have to work for minimum wage, $10.75 an hour. I can make what they make in 2 weeks in 1 hour. So that's what I wanted. The response to my ads were pretty much instant. People would ask for they want to be regulars, or is there any extras? I'd work from 9 until 7 in the morning sometimes. There's a couple ways of doing it. You could be independent or be through agencies, or there's girls that are through pimps. But I'm independent. I don't work for anyone. I don't give money to anyone but myself.
You could be the best independent, living the high life, and eventually you're gonna keep wanting more and more and more, right? And it's I gotta keep doing this so I can keep living this lifestyle. And then you've enslaved yourself.
When you go up to the room, you mention that you do have a driver outside, that he knows what room I'm in, he knows what you look like, because I ask for a description of them before I go up. I set a time, I text him as soon as I'm in there, and as soon as I leave, and I text him if the time is not that exact time, and he'd step in and go upstairs and see if I'm alright. But no, I've heard stories about girls getting beaten up and their money stolen.
The risks that sex trade workers face when they choose to engage in this type of employment, there's physical risks. They can be assaulted by clients. If they affiliate themselves with a pimp, they can be exploited, assaulted, threatened, psychologically abused by a pimp. There's obviously the health risks that are inherent with sexual behavior, where STIs are common. You might get into issues of addiction, where somebody gets addicted to hard drugs or alcohol.
I'm working, doing in-calls, I'll buy blow, or just get high, and being high, like, already being someone else already, like, alters, like, my state of mind, but, like, being high just makes it, like, so, like, carefree, like, so what, like, it's not really me, I'm just doing it to, like, ease away from what the reality of, like, it actually is.
I never looked at her drug use as a serious problem. Could it be?
I mean, it's tough to admit that someone is addicted or isn't, and what's the line when you say, okay, yes, they are addicted? You know, like clinical research says one thing, whereas society says another thing, right? The documentaries or the books will tell you if you drink every day, you're an alcoholic, whereas society doesn't say that, right? If you drink every day, as long as you maintain, as long as you're in control, then you're not an alcoholic. And it's similar with drugs. Only those close to the people can say, yeah, they're addicted, because you notice a personality change, you notice a need, you notice how desperate they get when they think they can't get it.
Like, I'm not addicted to drugs, but I do them to, like, get away from, like, reality of the fact that I'm actually resulting to escorting.
We have another expression around the office that says, how can you tell when an addict is lying? Their mouth is open.
The laws in regards to escorting and prostitution are up in the air right now due to a Supreme Court decision. It's up to, it's an individual choice. If somebody wants to be involved in prostitution, it's their choice if they want to do that. If it becomes an exploitive type of relationship where somebody is being exploited by a pimp or a controller, there are still laws in effect to protect people who choose to get into prostitution or escorting in Canada. We operate in Toronto Police Special Victims, we operate as a victim-first approach, where people who come to us to report what they've experienced in the sex trade industry, we view that person as a victim, and we are not interested in proceeding in criminal charges against that person in relation to the prostitution that they've been involved in. We want to hear their stories, and we want to help them get the assistance and support that they need in order to get out of the game, out of the industry, and to get their lives back on track.
I wanted to be in school right now. I wanted to be out of the situation that I'm in and never have to do this again, but once you get into it, it sucks you in, and I just keep going back.
Sometimes I think I'm doing the wrong thing by helping her keep this secret. Am I enabling her? Or if I went back on my word, would it make things worse? I just don't know. I miss Victoria. I miss my friend. If I could just go back to the moment she decided to take this path, I'd stop her. I hope this documentary helps others in the same situation. As for Victoria,